The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everybody, this is Suraj here from Rapid Leverage. Good evening if you're watching this live. It's just on 7:30 here in London. I know we've got people watching this live from different parts of the world, and those of you watching the recording of this, you'll be watching this sometimes in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, because this is going to be recorded and put inside the premium section of the Rapid Leverage Forum, as are all of our other webinars. I'm excited today for a number of reasons. Firstly, because we've got a good friend of mine who I've known for a little bit of time now, Stuart Murray, who's going to be talking to us about mobile marketing and SMS marketing. I met Stuart. We were actually both speaking at the same conference earlier this year, and we've got to know each other across the rest of the year. Stuart's come to our London IM meetups a couple of times this year, and it's been great getting to know him and what he does. I'm also excited because this is our last webinar of the year for 2012. I guess that won't make any sense if you're watching the recording of this, but for those of you listening in live, it's been a great year for us at Rapid Leverage. We've gone over the 700 member mark, so we've built a fantastic community. And I want to thank everyone listening to this live or recorded. It's part you form the community, and it's been a pleasure being part of that with you. So, like I said, Stuart Murray is a good friend of mine who is the go-to guy for mobile marketing and SMS marketing. Earlier today, Stuart sent me an email with a little bit of a test thing that he set up where I could send an SMS to a certain number with a certain keyword and receive some information back. Now that was just amazing in terms of the potential that I was thinking about for local businesses or for speakers if you speak on stage, or if you want to use that as a call to action on your websites or your blogs or your squeeze pages and what have you. So where rather than ask for an opt-in by email or something like that, you can ask for an opt-in via SMS. So in this case, it was text rapid to 64411 or something similar to that, and Stuart's going to share that with you in a moment. And I was able to receive information back like that, and I'm sure that would then drop my number into some sort of database. So for marketing purposes, this is brilliant. I'm looking forward to hearing what Stuart has to say. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Stuart to take over the presentation and let you in on his secrets. Just before I sort of mute myself, if anyone has any questions throughout the webinar, I'm going to be monitoring, so feel free to ask your questions in the question box, and I'll be interrupting Stuart at the appropriate time to ask any questions. If not, then I'll leave them until the end. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Stuart Murray, who's going to be talking to us about mobile and SMS marketing. Stuart, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that introduction, Suraj. And yes, the number was actually 64414, which I'll cover off a little bit later in the presentation. But absolutely, if you texted the word rapid, you'll see some quite cool stuff happening. But more on that later. So hopefully you can all see my screen, which has the titles Presentation Mobile 101 with Rapid Leverage. So can we see all that? Or can we get some responses back from people to say that they can see the screen okay? Let's have a look. Can you see those coming in, Suraj? Be great to have some confirmation that people can see that okay before we crack on. Awesome. Okay, so let's crack on. Excellent. Thanks, Suraj. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I wanted to show you a picture here. This is actually a picture that had me fascinated actually at a very young age. I'm actually 41 years old now, but when I was at school, I was absolutely fascinated by this picture, which has a massive area of purple on it. And I show you this to you because I think it's really important whenever you're doing something, you really follow your dream and follow something you're passionate about, and following something that really kind of gets you fired up. And you'll find out as we go through this presentation, I'm very fired up about mobile. But I show this to you because I actually had a chance to go out and follow that dream over 20 years ago now. And this is a picture I took of Mount Everest, standing at 8,848 meters or 29,028 feet. Amazing sight. And I actually was pretty crazy back then. I actually took a mountain bike out to the Himalayas when really mountain bikes only just first came out. And this is a picture of me up at 17,500 feet. Pretty insane. I was actually out in the Himalayas for 4 months. Now, I kind of showed you these slides because actually, when I look at what happened in the subsequent, I guess, 15 years of my career, I got stuck in a bit of a rut. And I'm sure many people can perhaps relate to this, where you you kind of stop following your dreams and actually you just find yourself just going through the motions. And I kind of did that for the best part of 15 years until 2008, when really the credit crunch started to hit, and big stores like almost institutions like Woolworths, went bust. And alongside that, I was working with a FTSE 100 company at the time, an insurer, and you know when you read these kind of headlines, city brace for jobs bloodbath, it's not a good thing. And I found that 2 months after the Lehman Brothers collapse in December 2008, I actually got made redundant. Not a brilliant time to get made redundant, definitely 4 years ago now, really. And the crazy thing is, for me, this is where Renaissance started, because I was working at that time within within the corporate world, and I decided that I didn't want to go and get another job. I kind of viewed that a job was actually probably the last thing I wanted to do as we were entering a recession. So I decided to actually set myself up as a consultant. And in 2009, I just took the view that I wanted to push the boundaries at every opportunity and challenge myself. So I show here a picture of the fourth plinth. This is in Trafalgar Square. And actually in 2009, they had a thing where for every hour of every day for 100 days, a different person could stand on top of the fourth plinth and do whatever they liked. So in my case, I thought it would be quite cool to stand up there at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night dressed as Darth Vader. So it was probably one of the most scariest moments of my life. But I think pushing the boundaries is a really important thing to do. If you're starting something new, it's going to be scary when you first get into it. And my whole mindset now is to continuously push the boundaries. So a couple of years ago, I had a chance to go diving, and I show you this to you because I want people to create a lifestyle for themselves, which I'm sure Suraj has now. I certainly am creating this kind of lifestyle for myself, where you can mix doing what you'd call work with doing really cool things. So I show this to you because at the same time I was out, it was actually in the Perhentian Islands in Malaysia. We actually got stuck. We couldn't get back because of the Icelandic volcano that happened in, where was it now? Easter 2009. No, Easter 2010. So we got stuck out there. And the great thing was I had my laptop and I had internet connection and I had clients that I could still carry on working with whilst I was out stuck in Malaysia. So I was out there for another week and I was still able to earn money. I was still able to have a great time and, and enjoy that lifestyle. I have a family as well. This is my young son. He's Benedict. He's 9 years old, and it's just really cool where you can do things like here. We flew to an air show that was near us. Would have been like a 2 hour drive, but actually it was like a 15-minute helicopter journey, which was quite cool. And also, when it comes to kind of work, it's really great to be able to mix all this up. So the last couple of summers with clients I've had in London, I've actually been able to stay on a boat in St Catherine's Dock. And this kind of reduced for me what was previously a 4 hour commute down to a 10-minute walk into the city. And the great thing of that is I could get into the office at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, and leave at 4 o'clock and have the rest of the day with my family. And that was just awesome. It was like living 2 days in one. And for me, it's also around having that freedom to be able to take time out. So this year, I actually did a charity trek in the Sahara Desert. And this was a view that a photo I took from the top of one of the dunes that we ascended whilst we were out there, and I had an amazing time. We actually raised £77,000 for a local hospice where I live, and it's just great to be able to take time out, knowing that you can do that, and you're not kind of eating into your holiday allowance, and actually do great things for for other people. So that's kind of a bit about me. I want to show you a bit about what I do. This is kind of, I guess, for the last 15 years, really how I would sum up what I do. And I kind of say I bridge the gap. And I basically bridge the gap between business and IT. Because I have a belief that in every business, you will find there are people that understand the business, but not the IT. And there are people that understand the IT, the technology, but not the business. And what I do, and what I encourage you to do, is to understand the challenges that businesses have, and also understand the opportunity that IT can present to help solve those challenges. It's around how you, if there's big gaps in an organisation and you leave that to the business and to the IT folk to figure out themselves, often you'll have this kind of scenario happening here where the bridge doesn't quite connect. Thankfully, by the way, in case you're wondering, this was, I think, photoshopped, so nobody was actually stupid enough to build a bridge like this, I don't think. Anyway, so that's kind of what I do in a nutshell.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and thanks for bearing with me on this.
That's all right.
One of the technology hates.
Yeah.
So, right, that's kind of what I do. I bridge the gap between business and IT. So, let's take you into really what you're going to learn today in this session. So, hang on the next slide. So, I'm going to take you through 3 steps to creating a successful mobile consulting business. I'm also going to take you through 3 fundamental principles for identifying money clients, so you can actually find clients who, or target clients who are more likely to give you better return on your time and investment. I'm also going to show you why you need to create a mobile funnel to maximize those opportunities, and it's a mobile specific funnel, so whilst you'll recognize some components of it, there are also some there that are specific to mobile. And then a single strategy that can earn you 3 times more than email marketing. You'll often see people quote that you make kind of roughly $1 a month through email marketing. And I'll show you a way using SMS which can make 3 times that. Also, I'll show you 3 ways to build a 6-figure mobile consulting business, 3 different business models, and take you through 7 steps to implementing a mobile messaging campaign. So I'll take you through at a more granular level how you can implement that campaign, those individual components. And then towards the end, I'll give you the #1 golden rule that we use when it comes to building a mobile list, because mobile does have some differences, and if you recognise this rule, you actually save yourself a lot of time and effort that you don't want to waste in that process. And then finally, I've got an unannounced bonus strategy which I'll share with you, which I thought would be really useful to throw into. So, right, I'll take you on through this then. So, when you're looking at mobile, it's really important to bear in mind that there's like 7 billion people on the planet. So there's 5.9 billion mobile users worldwide. It's something like 4 times the number of mobile users as there are PC and laptop users. So you're talking about a much, much bigger market that you can tap into here. And this is from research carried out earlier this year. Second thing is around why use mobile. So mobile really kind of sits now at the centre of things, and it's really been brought about because of the advances through smartphone technology and through smartphones themselves. And the thing to bear in mind is here, it sits at the centre of all these other channels. So you've got things like print and printed material as one of the other channels that sit out there. You've then got radio, but that ties in also with things like podcasts and that kind of thing. You've then got television. TV is now increasingly internet ready. And also something like 84% of people watching TV are actually sitting there with their mobile phone in front of them, when they're either surfing or they're texting friends or emailing people whilst they're watching the TV. Particularly people will turn off, ignore the adverts on the TV and just be on their mobile whilst stuff like that's happening. The next one is around the internet. Obviously, mobile integrates really well with that. When you're looking at smartphone technology, the fact you can access mobile sites and email and all this sort of stuff and mobile apps directly through the internet. And there's 4G now coming into the UK, and that's been piloted right now. And next year, I think end of Q1, that's going to go across most of the UK. That's going to bring like broadband speeds to phone. So, it's going to make a huge difference to the people's consumption of videos and all this kind of stuff. Then you have cinema. Mobile integrates with that, and if you have apps like Flickster on your phone, where you can view movie trailers and all this sort of stuff, it's another example of the way in which cinema goers are being engaged through mobile. So it's encouraged them to actually go to cinema, watch films. If you go to Blockbusters, you'll see that they run their own SMS campaigns where they'll send out a couple of times a month promotional offers to come and go and rent videos and DVDs and stuff like that. So all this is happening right now. And then the final one is around recordings. So this can be MP3s, MP4s, all that kind of stuff. People now have massive music collections on their phones or on their iPod, but increasingly on their smartphones. So mobile integrates with all these channels, and it's just recognising that simple fact makes you realise just how powerful mobile is and how powerful it will become. Some other important things around why text messaging. It comes down to the text message open rate. Frost and Sullivan did a whole research which showed that over 98% of text messages get opened and read, compared to 22% of emails. And the likelihood is, I think if you look at, you speak to most email marketers, that number is actually way lower than 22%. It could even be less than 10% or, down as low as 5 to 6%. So there's a big difference between the two there. And I think the figures I've seen will show that more than 95% of text messages actually get open within less than 5 minutes. It's also around the coupon response rate. So the redemption rate of mobile coupons is actually 10 times that of traditional coupons. So by traditional coupons, it's like the paper, printed coupons you might see in newspapers, or you might have like sort of wallets of them. And typically people look at those and think, oh, that's great, and then they never actually get around to actually using it. Whereas with mobile, sitting there maybe as a text message on your phone, it's very, very easy to use. You can be walking past the store and go, oh, yeah, I remember I had one from them last week, and you know you can then use it straight away. So let's take you into the 3 steps of creating a successful mobile consulting business. So the first one here is around identifying your target market. I'm going to take you into more detail in a minute, but very, very important to identify the target market, because there are certain target markets you don't want to really go into where it's much harder to monetize, and there isn't necessarily the kind of cash in that particular market area to warrant the kind of investment of implementing a mobile strategy. So I'll take you through the detail of that in a minute. Second one is around creating this mobile funnel. Really important, so you can create multiple entry points for a business to actually engage with your offering and your products or services. And then finally is around having the right mobile strategies. So you've actually got very specific strategies you can implement once people are coming into that funnel. And each of these points here I'm going to expand upon through this presentation, so let's crack on with that. So let's take you through 3 fundamental principles for identifying money clients. The first one I'll take you through is what's called the client cash quadrant. And we've developed this ourselves, because people often come to me and said, Stuart, what sort of market can I go into? Give me one that I know I can definitely make money in. And I kind of look at it and think, well, actually, let's turn that around the other way. And rather than kind of just say, look, just go to restaurants or just go into hotels or whatever it might be, I'd rather teach the principles so you know what kind of criteria you need to be looking for, because you may have other markets that that aren't on the list, that aren't on the hot list that people might refer to, that are equally profitable, and actually maybe more profitable because you might know that really well, and other people may not be in it. Maybe there's competition. So I'll teach you the principles here. This is what the client cash quadrant is all about. If you imagine that you looked at a particular client or a particular customer, so when you take a particular client, you're going to look at the customer and you're going to look at what value that customer is to that particular client or that particular business. And then you look at another factor, which is time, as in over what period of time does that customer provide value back into that business. So when you look at it, you've got scenarios here where you've got a high customer value, and then you've also got scenarios here where you've got customer value over a long period of time. And obviously you've then got the individual quadrants within this model. So to take you through individually each one here, bottom left-hand corner you might be looking at businesses like locksmiths, aerial fitting companies, maybe even MOT testing companies, where the value is actually pretty low, and it might be a one-time purchase. You maybe lose your keys once, or you maybe want to upgrade your aerial once to a digital aerial or something. So you're not going to be going back year on year to spend money there. MOT testing is maybe a bit more marginal, because you do obviously need to get your MOT done every year, but you don't necessarily need to show loyalty to whoever does your test. It's a fairly commodity-based thing. So that's probably more to the kind of right-hand side of that particular quadrant. When we move on into it, though, you can see some of the differences here. So next one is where the value is relatively low, but the time aspect is over a long period of time. And then you'll keep going back. You can keep spending money with this business or these types of businesses. Those might be restaurants, bars, hairdressers, as an example. You're not looking at very high value. Third one, and this is a really great one, is where you're in the top right-hand corner and you've got a high value customer, and you like to be back spending money with that business, again and again, year after year. So here, kind of golf courses, accountants, vets might be typical examples you'd look at in the top right-hand corner. And certainly these kind of clients, and also ones in the right-hand side with restaurants, bars, and hairdressers, those kind of businesses, are all really good businesses to look at from a mobile perspective, particularly with SMS, because SMS is around building long-term value for a business. It's around building a list for the business, so they've got a list of customers that they can engage with time and time again. So the right-hand side is absolutely where you want to be focusing your efforts. If you're looking top left, though, that doesn't mean there's more opportunities there. So top left is where you've got high customer value, but maybe kind of a one-time purchase. So people might pay to upgrade their double glazing to their house, or they might move home or have an incident in their life where they need a solicitor, or maybe they need kids as well, or they'd like to have kids. So things like that, high value, but not necessarily more than one-time purchase. And the reason why I show this is if you think about double glazing companies, I've spoken to a few where they say they spend a significant amount actually advertising. So figure I had quoted was like £600-700 a double glazing company will spend to acquire one customer. So here the strategy can be more around lead generation rather than that ongoing relationship building. And certainly you can use SMS for lead generation. So that's a different set of strategies you might implement, but absolutely there's opportunities in that top left-hand quadrant. So that's kind of it really when you look at the client cash quadrant, and it really comes down to what business are you targeting, what business are you working with, and thinking about it in the context of these principles here. The next fundamental principle I want to take you through here I've called the capacity closer. And this one's really important because many people think if you're offering deals and you're offering discounts and coupons, stuff like that through any kind of method, that it's always around reducing the price and selling it at a loss and stuff like that. And I fundamentally say that's a kind of flawed approach because, yes, you can do that, but actually there's strategies you can implement where you discount in order to fill your excess capacity. So if you've got particular days of the week, times of the month, hours of the day when a business knows they have spare capacity, you can use SMS correctly as a very targeted way to close that gap and increase your overall throughput. So I should kind of show you how that works. If you imagine you've got demand, and I'll take you back to kind of school here with maybe graphs you've done when you were at school around demand and supply. So if you imagine you've got demand on one axis and you've got time on the other. And if you think of most businesses, take like a restaurant is going to have pretty fixed supply. They've only got so many tables, they've only got so much space, they've only got so many staff, so many chefs, so much food. So their supply is fairly consistent over time. So their ability to actually increase that significantly is a bit challenged, really. And then you've got demand, and demand can fluctuate significantly during the course of a week or the course of a month or over the course of a year. If you think right now, lots of restaurants, bars can be very, very busy during December, but come January, most of them are going to be dead. And the same is true of a lot of industries, and they're all going to work on a cyclical basis, and it's just going to, it's going to be time that's going to vary. So down here on the x-axis is that that day, week, month, or year is really the thing you need to think about. So what happens is whenever you've got this imbalance between supply and demand, is you've got an opportunity. You've got an opportunity to help close that gap on behalf of the business. And if you're building a list for a business, a mobile list of mobile numbers, of mobile subscribers, then you can engage with those subscribers to help fill that gap and to bring additional revenue during that time. And the way I look at it is if you've got a business that has an imbalance there like this, they've got fixed costs, they've got overheads, they've got assets that are basically sitting there doing nothing. And if you can bring an additional revenue that actually brings in additional money to the business when they would otherwise have just spent money on their overhead, if you bring additional revenue during that time, then you're directly impacting on their profitability, directly improving their profitability. So the impact can be quite significant, that's what I'm saying, and if you sell it to a business on that basis, they'll see the benefit of it. So this one's around, as I said, it's all around reducing the business's fixed costs. And the third one, this one's quite quick, but it's just one you mustn't forget, which is around customer demographics. So I mentioned, for instance, hairdressing. I just wanted to show you that not all businesses are the same. You need to be very mindful of demographics because there are certain demographics, if you're looking at kind of the younger age group, sort of teenage years up to 20-something, 30-something, they're all very highly tuned into mobile and how it works and this whole thing, whereas an older age group doesn't necessarily have that same attitude and that same approach. So this is the example I give you. Not all businesses are the same, and clearly for these two types of business, same type of business, the lady on the right is going to be a lot more receptive to mobile marketing, mobile messaging than the lady on the left who's looking at a crossword puzzle or whatever. So that's an important thing to remember. So let's take you through. The next thing to learn here is I'll take you through the mobile funnel and show you how you can implement that to maximise on opportunities. And this is all around, as I said, creating multiple touch points into your business. So one principle that I like to have in mind when I look at a mobile funnel is the quote from Warren Buffett. And he said, I don't look to jump over 7-foot bars, I look around for 1-foot bars that I can step over. And I guess that also epitomizes why you want the funnel, because you want to make it very easy for businesses to actually engage with your services and create the right, a nice low entry point where businesses are perhaps reticent to come in at a higher level. It doesn't mean it's so businesses won't. It all depends on what relationship you have with them and what their needs are and how well you sell it to them. But it's around creating that environment that maximises those opportunities. So let's take you through the funnel itself. The first aspect of the funnel is around creating free content. I'm sure some of the stuff I'm sharing here, you're already maybe doing this in your business already, in your online business. You may already be doing it for clients at the minute. So I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs, but I'm going to take you through how this sits in a mobile context. Second one is around creating free reports, in this case free mobile reports, so you can actually educate people on mobile. Next one down is around creating a free text demo. So this is what Suraj referred to at the start of this webinar. I'll take you through that as well. All of these I'll take you through in more detail in a moment. Level 4 is around implementing a 30-day trial or a trial period. This is around giving people the opportunity, giving business the opportunity to kind of experience the service that you can provide through mobile firsthand without necessarily committing fully, and it allows them to just understand the kind of mechanics around how it all works without any kind of real expenditure. Down from that is a strategy which we call daily deals, and daily deals is a bit like kind of pay-as-you-go on a mobile phone, insofar as a business is really just taking advantage of a list that you will build, that you're leveraging within a local market. So the business doesn't own that list, you own that list, you've built that list, and you can then run daily deals through that list with different businesses. Now from that, you've got dedicated SMS. So this is, in contrast to daily deals, this is where you're actually building a list for a business. So it's their customers, and it's kind of ring-fenced to their business, and therefore whenever you're all engaging with that list, it's only about stuff for that particular business. Whereas daily deals could be about any number of, it could be for any number of different businesses or organisations. The final one is around full service. So this is just recognising that actually, if you only focus on mobile, or you only focus on mobile messaging, you're kind of leaving a lot of money on the table, because there's going to be other opportunities that you could find presented to you that you can still earn good money from, and actually that money may be even better than the money you'd earn through mobile messaging. So you want to always be alive to the fact that that if you're offering the full service, even if you're outsourcing stuff, then you become that kind of one-stop shop as far as the business is concerned for their marketing, their digital marketing services. So let's go into a bit more detail with this. So first one around free content. I'm just going to take you through some of the principles here. So it's around moving that free line. I think this was a quote I heard from Mark Anastasi around moving this free line to give away more free stuff. And it's around educating potential prospects, which for mobile I think is really important because it's so new. People have a lot of misconceptions around how it works and what it costs and privacy concerns, all that sort of stuff. So you want to do that so you can help build trust and confidence in people's minds. And then it's around here creating different mediums, so podcasts or webinars, videos, to a camera, or stuff people can read, whether it be articles or blog posts. So I mentioned kind of AVK there, so audio, visual, and kinesthetic. If you're interacting with people in different ways, then you can press some people's buttons some of the time and other people's in a different way. So example here is we've created our own YouTube channel where we're increasingly adding content, just free content that people can go to consume stuff. So that's YouTube/Moshimobi, and that's my company name, Moshimobi. So we created that channel there. Feel free to visit it, and you'll find lots of content there that we're adding, and more we'll be adding all the time. And so there's no obligation then if people are going to that channel to do any more other than just watching the videos. Cool. So the second one is around the free mobile report, and I differentiate this because yes, you're providing that free report, but it's actually provided in return for information. So say like an email address. So this would be the usual kind of opt-in. So it doesn't really sit completely free, so to speak, because you are giving something back in return. Obviously, within the report, you can also have calls to action, and also you can promote other services. So, for instance, promoting a free demo, a first-day trial, daily deals, or dedicated campaigns. Any of those kind of things can be promoted within that report, or whatever other services you provide. So example here is this is a free report we've created, and this takes you through how you can implement a mobile strategy and the types of strategies you can implement, and particularly around how you can implement these 7 steps to successful mobile messaging. So we have on our homepage that report where you can download it, and it's about 30 odd pages, and you've got our contact details all there as well there if you're wanting to follow up with more. So that just shows you another example around how that works. So this is where it gets really interesting, because now we're into the realms of mobile and mobile text messaging. And what I've actually done here is set up a demo that will work both if you're live on the call now, but also if you're listening to this as a recording. I'll leave this up and running so that at any point from now and in the future, you can be just seeing how this works and experiencing this demo, which just gives you a really good way to kind of experience it and a feeling for the mechanics. So here it's around inviting people to try something for free. There is a cost here. It's simply your standard network rate. So if you are on a pay-as-you-go, it's going to be a few pounds. But for most people, you've got a pretty generous allowance within your own text plan, or even unlimited text. Most people have a lot these days, so it's free. It's pretty much free. The way it works is you text in a keyword, and then you can get a reply back. So a keyword, in this case, is the word rapid, which you could text to 64414, and you'll get a reply back. And I'll show you a bit more how this works. So what we'll do is when you do this is it will actually reply back with a question. It will also give you a download link to the report I referred to earlier, the free report, and it will actually give you the opportunity to engage with me more when you try this out. Just give it a go. I'll explain to you a bit more how it works in a second. What this is about, when you do this, it's really a great selling opportunity. So I've done this at an event where I've given people the opportunity to meet me at an event. It's like a conference, and a lot of conferences have like a JV table or a networking table where you can put your details. So I put my details down there and actually been able to directly connect with people at that event where they've texted in and been cached within my text database, but also received details back from me that allowed us to meet at the event, and I've actually done business that way. A few months ago, I met someone at an event like that where conservatively that client was worth about £10,000 over the next 12 months. And they initiated the contact with me purely through using this kind of mechanics. There's a couple of ways you can use it. You can use it where you can reply back with questions or a video. You can easily do like a YouTube link, which so they can watch the video live on their phone, on their smartphone. Or you can personalize it. So you can actually create personalized methods of connecting with people. So for instance, I'll show you the one I've done here today. So I've set this up where you can text RAPID to 64414. And I'll only use that word RAPID for this webinar. So it just allows me to understand people that have watched this webinar and people that have got value out of what I've been doing on this call today. And if you do text in there, you can basically get the opportunity to have a free 20-minute consultation with me around mobile. It only applies to the UK, and as I said, text is charged at the standard rate. I'll never actually contact you after this without your permission. So I'm just using this as a method for you to connect with me now, rather than me to, spam you with over text down the road. I'm not interested in doing that. I kind of take the view that you can be a lot smarter with how you use this technology. And so if you want to have a 20-minute consultation with me, text in the word RAPID 64414, and I'll send you through all of the free stuff and give you a chance to have some of my time. There's no restriction on that as far as anybody can do that. I'm not going to be just choosing like one or two people to connect with. If you want to connect with me, then that's what you need to do. Cool, so hopefully that shows you how the free text demo works. Let's take you through to the next one, which is around the 30-day trial. And this is a very low-risk way for a business to get started with SMS. I just want to take you through the kind of the basis of the offer that we provide. So this gives them access to the system for 30 days, where we'll be running an offer for them, and we'll do that using a branded keyword in their company name. So it means they're promoting their business using a word that is generally their name or closely associated with their name. There are some restrictions around that. There's a number of characters you can use, but you're not giving the code to text in. They're actually using, it is their name. And then we run a promotional offer for them for those 30 days, which will allow them to build a list. And we'll give them a message allowance as well within that 30-day period. And this way, a business can get involved, can get up and running very, very quickly, very, very easily with minimal cost. And it's a great opportunity as well to start building a wider list, which we don't have time to go to now, but it's a great way to do that. The mechanics of this is quite simple. You might have someone in a store and they'd say, the salesperson might say, would you like to receive 20% off your next order valid until the end of the month? And so they're going to make that offer, and this person goes, oh yeah, great. So I can text the word, in this case, I'm just saying RAPID to 64414. And what that would do is instead of, in this context, it would send back an offer or a coupon directly to the person's phone with that 20% off and the expiry date of it. And they will just simply show that back into the business within that period, and they've got that offer. If they wanted to, they can share it to their friends. That wouldn't be a problem either, because it's all going to be good from a business's point of view in terms of bringing additional revenue back in. So the 30-day trial, it's important to bear in mind actually through this process is that text marketing is permission-based. So you can't just go and buy a list of numbers or trawl through a database that you may have acquired that has numbers in it and use that from the word go. People need to know if you have obtained their number, they need to know that you're going to be then messaging them later and they've actually opted in for that specific purpose. So the regulations are tighter than the email marketing, and particularly if you look at the US, you'll see all sorts of lawsuits happening there quite regularly, being the US way around companies sending out unsolicited text messages. So it's important that you always allow people to opt in, and you really only message people where they have opted in, and you always give people the opportunity to opt out. So for instance, if I was going to be sending you messages after today, if you've texted in RAPID, I will give you a keyword within the text that you could reply back with, so that you can actually choose to stop receiving any further text. And if you've got a good system to work with, that should then handle that automatically. Okay, next on this is around the daily deals. So this is around creating something that actually can spin off from the 30-day trial. So for instance, if you imagine you get to the end of the 30-day trial, a business may not want to continue with setting up a dedicated campaign, but they might be quite happy to, to leverage the list you've already built and actually do some daily deals, offer some more offers out to a bigger list. So it can spin off from that quite easily. What you'll be doing is building a list within a targeted group. So generally a targeted group might be geographically, so it might be within like a city centre, or it might be centred around maybe a university or a hospital, any kind of large gathering of people that you can target would work for a day deal. And what you would do is you're basically getting paid to send out offers and coupons to that list. So you're working with businesses that would want to offer deals out to that targeted group, and they're paying you for every message that gets sent out according to the size of that database. And the key thing is to take a community approach. It creates a win-win. So with the day deals we're running, one of the things I do is I offer a discount if the business is a new business. So if they've only established themselves in the last 12 months, we actually give them preferential rates. And actually, if they're a community group, let's say a group that organises fundraisers, we'll actually promote that fundraising event to the list effectively for free. We'll do it at cost. So that's really important, because when it comes to building the list, people are much more receptive if they know that not only will they gain, but actually it's helping the wider community. And it does also open up some quite cool ways in which you can build that list as well. Important also to integrate that with other channels. So obvious ones are like social media, because you want to be able to get the word out. So things like Facebook and Twitter just makes a lot of sense to integrate what you're doing with messaging with say Facebook, because you can put images on it and you can get that kind of viral juice that is so easy to generate through social media that it's completely free. So why not take advantage of it? And then the other thing about daily deals, it gives you this chance to do up some dedicated campaigns. So for businesses seeing that there's responsiveness through offering those deals, because they know that ultimately they don't own that customer database, it becomes more compelling for a business to say, okay, what can I do when I do own that customer database? And that opens up opportunities around engaging with their customers. There's more than just offering deals and offers and things like that. They can be doing other things. So I'll show you a bit more what that looks like in a minute. So daily deals, simply could be, people asking people to text in like the word save to 64414, and then that allows them to opt into the program. That's just giving you an example there. So next up, look at dedicated campaigns. So this is where you might be offering coupons and special offers. That's still a mainstay of what you're doing. But it can also be other things like surveys, quizzes, competitions, and you can actually make the SMS platforms work in quite an interactive way, where it's a bit like you see on, you see the competitions, which are generally like premium services on television with like X Factor and stuff like that, where they will ask people to text in, A, B, or C for normally a completely daft question, which is obviously the answer on, and then bill for that at a premium rate. You can do the same thing, but not actually at a premium rate, just where you're actually having the business engage with their customers around, it might be what menu they prefer if it's a restaurant, or it might be on the quality of the service, and whether they'll come back and use the business again. It could be those kind of things. That's also quite cool as well, because you can integrate that with reputation management. So reputation management is quite big at the moment, where people are wanting to actively manage their online presence. And if a business knows which of their customers like their service, then you can actually do quite cool things with that segmented list, where you can actually encourage the people that really love your service to improve your online presence. And obviously, if people don't like your service, you can try and meet people's needs other ways as well, which might be just to understand where you went wrong. So there's some really cool things you can do there, where you've got targeted response coming back from people. Other things around engagement, brand awareness, product launches and promotion. If you imagine you've got a list and you're investing a significant amount of money to create a new product and you're going to launch that, then knowing that you've got a really targeted database of customers can actually make a big difference to whether that launch is successful or not. And the final thing is here around creating a loyalty scheme or a VIP club. This is where you can target the other end of the spectrum to the customers that just want deals and offers. You're actually targeting the customers here that love your service and will happily pay more to have a better experience. So you can use text messaging for that as well, which is quite a powerful way of looking at things. So this is giving a couple of examples here of specific offers you might do or specific calls to action. So dry cleaners and wine merchants. So next on with the full service. So this is really important because it's around being capable of providing a wider range of services. So just some examples here. It might be social media management. It might be website or mobile development, mobile site development. It might be app development. It could be things like email, video, webinar marketing, paid advertising, whether it be sort of Google, PPC, Facebook, or media buying, which is quite big at the moment. And then things like SEO, services, article marketing, all that kind of stuff. So any of these services sit nicely alongside mobile marketing, mobile messaging. So I'll give you an example. I had a client that I went to a few months ago, and I looked at their overall kind of marketing funnel, and one of the things it was kind of crying out for was to implement their webinar, because they have quite a high-end product. It's like £2,000–3,000, and they were kind of expecting people to make quite a big leap to buy into that service without giving people perhaps a taster of what they could get through that, which a webinar would deliver really well. So we implemented a webinar with them there, and I haven't even got to talking to them yet really properly around SMS and what we're doing on that side of things. And we've done that on a revenue split as well. So from my point of view, I'm investing that time up front in order to then be able to get a return on that later. So you don't want to ignore those opportunities, because those opportunities can actually be bigger for some clients than the text message marketing. Funny enough, though, it was the text message marketing that was the in originally with that business. So, it's about being able to provide that full range of services. So when you look at that, it sits visually in this form, where you're actually able to offer breakfast services that integrate SMS with other channels and other forms of digital marketing. So let's take you through this single strategy to earn 3 times more than email marketing. So what I'm going to do here is when you look at this, is that people will often quote and say that you can typically earn $1 a month per subscriber on your in your autoresponder. And I want to show you just some of the numbers that actually sits with daily deals that shows how you can earn 3 times more of that per subscriber. So I'll just take you through the numbers. So if you're charging daily deals, you can be charging around 15 pence per text per subscriber. So if you've got 1,000 people on a list, you're then going to be charging £150 to send out a blast to those 1,000 people. So if you imagine you're sending out 5 offers a week, so you're not doing 7 days a week, you're doing 5 days over the course of the week, and you're doing an average of 4 weeks a month. So it means you're kind of sending out 20 offers a month. And if you assume the cost to actually send the text message is 5 pence, it means your gross profit per text is then 10 pence per text that's going out. You can then look at the numbers. You've then got 5 offers a week times 4 weeks in a month times your 10 pence, basically equals £2, or in today's money in dollars, you've got $3 per subscriber per month. So I show you this because people say the money is in the list, and it's absolutely the case, and it's the same principles here with mobile marketing, mobile messaging. But because mobile has a higher response rate, because you're creating a kind of highly targeted list, because you know the deliverability rate is 95% or more, you're able to monetize that more effectively, which means you don't need as big a list to actually be able to make the same amount of money. So hopefully just looking at these numbers kind of gives some really good context around how you can actually implement mobile messaging. So let's carry on through here. This next slide here in terms of these next 4 points are pretty quick, so I'll run through these individually. So 3 ways to build a 6-figure mobile consulting business. What I want to do is take you back to the mobile funnel, because essentially daily deals, dedicated SMS, and the full service agency, each of those business models individually could be a 6-figure consulting business for you, even if you just focus on one of those. Forgetting whether you want to implement all 3, which I would advise too, but actually each of those individually can easily be a 6-figure consulting business. So what I want to do is show you this in the context of daily deals. So we've shown a minute ago how your gross profit per text is 10 pence. And if you're sending out 5 texts a week and 4 times a month, 20 texts a month, so you've got 10 pence times 20 is £2 per subscriber. So that's the number we got to a minute ago. And so if you're building a database, a mobile database of 4,000 people, you're then able to earn through that 4,000 times 2 is £8,000 a month. So in the course of a year, you're talking about £96,000 a year in terms of overall revenue after you've deducted your costs for actual sending the messages out. So that's giving you one example. The same kind of principle applies when you look at dedicated campaigns or when you're looking at full service, but obviously the scenarios that are applied in each will vary. But hopefully that gives you a good idea as to what is possible here. Next up, I'm going to take you through quickly the 7 steps to implementing a successful mobile messaging campaign. And I'll take you through this quite quickly for kind of constant time, but there's also a video you can see within our YouTube channel, and it's like a 15-minute video where we take you through in much more detail each step here. So the fact I'm going through this quickly now doesn't really matter, because you can go to YouTube and watch it later. Let's just take you through the principles. These 7 steps has mobile in the middle. The step 1, and they all begin by the way with the letter S. So step 1 is that somebody has to see a promotional offer. They have to see an opportunity to text into a campaign. So I've given you the opportunity today just to text in the word rapid to 64414, and stuff will happen on the back of that. Like I said, I'm not going to implement or message you loads because you've texted in, so I'm not going to follow this exact formula I'm showing you here. But the context behind what I'm showing you here is around a business, let's say a retail business or a business that has a product to sell, where they want to be doing offers out to their customers. So that customer's first going to see that campaign, and then they're going to send a text message. And once they send that text message, they then become a subscriber into the back-end database that stores all those numbers. That all needs to be securely stored. It needs to be ring-fenced around that particular client or that particular type of campaign, and there needs to be strict controls around that. I'm registered, for instance, with the the ITO, the Information Commissioner's Office. So there are strict rules around how you handle that data. Next is step 4 is straight away you want to have a message that goes back to the person when they send that text in. So they know it works, and it gives you a great opportunity to follow up with with more than what I'm saying here, which is thanks for subscribing, but it gives you a chance to follow up in other ways. So if you are texting in the word rapid 64414, you get a link to the download report, which you can just view on your phone as a PDF, and other stuff happens too. So that goes back straight away. Then after that, you can then be looking at making special offers to those people. So if you're in a retail environment, you can be asking people to text in for the word deal to get 20% off. And so you can be texting out those special offers. When people see those, they can then select which ones they want to go with, so they can show that deal into the business in order to take advantage of that offer. But they can also share it as well. They can forward that on to their friends, and their friends can then take advantage of that offer too. So they can be like a viral component to that particular offer. Now, this is a point in time if stuff is shared, it doesn't go back into the subscriber database. It doesn't go back to step 3. But if somebody has taken advantage of that offer and they like that offer and they see the value of that offer, at some point, it's only a matter of time before they see, that promotional campaign, and they then text in, step 2, and that person becomes, a regular subscriber on that database. So the fact they can share is a really good thing. And finally, you want both the customer to be satisfied that they've actually had a great experience through taking advantage of that offer, and you also want the business to be satisfied that they've actually secured more business through it. So there needs to be that win-win that comes through that whole equation. So that's kind of it in terms of the 7 steps to mobile messaging. As I said, if you go to the YouTube channel, our channel is Moshimobi, then you can watch a 15-minute video that takes you through this on a flip chart where I'm actually talking to camera and I'm going into a lot more detail around how you can implement this strategy and how it works. Okay. Here we are. So I want to share with you this number 1 rule around how you build your mobile list, because there are differences with mobile that absolutely you need to take on board when it comes to implementing any kind of strategy. I'm sure you're aware of these yourself when you think about the personal nature of a mobile device and the fact that you always have it with you, and your number you may have had for the last 10, 20 years, and therefore you actually view that number with a degree of protection around that number that you would want to exert, different to what you would with an email. And in fact, you only have to look at the way people use emails when they opt into things, where they'll have a different email address these days to opt into a list versus the one they use with their friends or business. I know people even go to extremes where they'll have like a temporary email that expires after 30 minutes. So totally different. A different scenario if you're asking someone to opt in using their mobile number. And I think what this comes down to, really just one word, is the word trust. So when you're building a list, you need to be going about it in such a way where people will trust you with that bit of information, where they know that you can hold that information securely, where they know that you're not going to sell that information to other people, where they know that you're not going to spam them and send them, constant messages at all times of day. Fundamentally, there are very strict rules around how you should be handling that data, and you need to make it very clear when someone texts in what you're going to do with it. So, like I said, if you text in the word rapid to 64414, you might get a handful of text from me over the next few months, tops, because I'm really using this as an opportunity for you to experience how you can use text messaging rather than an opportunity to capture leads, so to speak. Because I take the view that actually, if you like what I'm doing, you'll find other ways to connect with me, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. The other thing I say about trust is, if you're looking to build a list, it's really good to partner with someone that already has an established relationship with their customers. So if you're partnering with a business and they already have a customer database, maybe of email addresses, well then that will be a really good starting point to start building a mobile list. Equally, if you're building a list for things like daily deals, then if you're doing kind of joint ventures with people that have groups that you want to focus and target on, if those groups already have an established relationship with the organisation that you're doing a joint venture with, then that trust already exists. And when that trust already exists, it makes it a lot easier to build that list, because those barriers are almost overcome already. So just that one word is a really important one to take home when you're doing mobile list building, because you save a whole lot of hassle and aggravation later and frustration trying to build a list where people perhaps aren't even receptive to sharing their important information like a mobile number. I think too as well is the attitude will change when people start to realise too what happens when you share that information around actually, it's all around creating a better user experience, around providing the people with timely and relevant information that is going to help their everyday lives. If that is your focus in terms of how you're using that information and how you're sharing information with people, then that helps them build that trust over time and people become a lot more comfortable with engaging with it. So that takes through to the final one, which is really my kind of unannounced bonus strategy. So I was pulling these slides together and I thought actually there's a really good thing that I can share with you that I use when I'm sitting down with clients that just allows you to differentiate or position the value that you can add through text message marketing. Because people often look at it and think, oh yeah, you can log into any system and upload a whole load of numbers and just send out a blast and it costs 5p a text. And if the business kind of looks at it that way, then they can think, well, that's not really, there's not much value there that's being delivered through that. Fundamentally, there are systems out there that do way more than offering a text message blast, where it's just a one-way text. You'll see yourself if you text in, when you text in rapid to 64414, you'll see that actually the system will engage with you automatically and give you a much richer experience. So the question is, how do you actually demonstrate that value to a client? And I'll show you here just through one example how you can position that as a value proposition where they look at it and go, okay, wow, that's what it can mean in terms of my business bottom line. Let's show you what this is. And it's around making it real for them. So one of the things I do is I calculate the future revenue just based upon their campaign systems. But actually, I do it in such a way where I ask the business to provide the numbers. So in this example here, I won't actually go and do it now and edit it. I'm not actually sure how to work on this on the webinar, but I don't want to put things up. What I'm talking about here is you can actually press escape while you're doing the presentation and enter in different numbers in the boxes. And based upon the numbers you enter, this is it has a spreadsheet embedded into the slide. It will then recalculate all the numbers within it. So you can then say, okay, if you've got 1,000 people in your list, you're sending out 4 promotions a month, you're getting so many people respond, and this is how much they spend. This is the kind of revenue that we can be generating through that particular campaign or through that particular strategy. So this is kind of how you can then help make that real. If you're then comparing that to how much you want to charge then, and let's say you could be charging a monthly fee of, let's say, £1,000 for providing that service or that bundle of services. If they're comparing that £1,000 with the kind of revenue that you can be generating, then you're making a really strong sort of statement around the value and the proposition that you're offering. So, I think I want to see if I can test this out 1 second. I'll skip out of this and hopefully it'll fall over. So, I've done that now. So if I then double click on this and say, for instance, the redemption rate was actually lower than that. Let's say it was 10%. And let's say they only spend, well, £25 or £50. So I've now changed those numbers. You can see that the actual the revenue figure as well, then recalculate on the back of that. And if you're doing that in conjunction with the business, then they've been party to that output there. They are buying into that output a lot more because they've contributed to it. So that was the bonus strategy. Let's just sum up around what we should have learned here. So I've shown you how you can create a mobile consulting business, and there were 3 key steps there that we went through. I've taken you through 3 principles around how you can identify money clients. So that was around things like the client cash quadrant and the capacity closer and understanding the demographics. Taking you through how to create a mobile funnel, so the 7 different levels that sat within that mobile funnel. I've shown you how you can earn 3 times more per email with the example I showed you there with daily deals. looking at what you can be building that out to clients as part of the daily deal program. I've shown you 3 different business models that you can use to create a 6-figure mobile consulting business. So you've got daily deals, you've got dedicated campaigns, and then you've got the full service, where you are acting as a full service agency. And then I showed you, breaking down a bit more, those 7 steps to mobile messaging. So showing you how to actually implement a campaign, to have people opt into your database, to get it off and out to them, and how you can then virally grow that database by having people share those offers, and ultimately how you can deliver that satisfaction back to the customer, and also help the business secure more business. And finally, I showed you this golden rule for how you can build your list around the importance of generating trust and finding opportunities where that trust already exists between the people you want to subscribe and the business or third parties to help you grow that list. So that is it in terms of the content here. What I would like to do before sort of handing you back to Suraj is just invite you to stay in touch. So as I said, my company name is Moshi Maybe Limited, and we're a UK-based company, and you can find us on moshimobi.com, and there's videos there and opportunities to download that free report and things like that. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is it's Stuart Murray, and I tend to use that as a good way to get the message out to people. So always follow me on Twitter. And finally, this I've done exclusively for Rapid Leverage members. You can text in the word RAPID to 64414, and I'll give you that free report download, and also I'll give you a free 20-minute mobile consultation. So if you just go through that process, you'll see how that works, and actually I'll get information directly through to my mobile phone. If you're wanting to connect with me that way. So that is it in terms of what I wanted to share with you today. I'm amazed I've pretty much managed to run to time. A little hiccup there with the sound early on. Suraj, let me hand it back to you and ask whether there's questions that people wanted to ask, and also the questions that you want to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Stuart. I got a lot of value from that. Things that I hadn't thought about myself. You uncovered a few things, especially sort of the bonus strategy and about breaking it down. Anyone who follows me online on Facebook and Twitter, what have you, you'll know that I like to break things down for myself and my clients in terms of the numbers, and that little formula you've got going there and how you're able to break down potential return on investment is really, really important for clients to see firsthand what they're going to get out of this. And I think that as a closing strategy, that's excellent. So if anyone out there is going to adopt mobile marketing into their business, or in fact become a mobile marketing consultant, and things like that, what Stuart was sharing with us, those strategies to close clients and the bonus strategy, absolutely brilliant. Sure, there are a few questions. I'm going to ask you them here. So Daryl on the call has asked if you can tell us what is the service that you use to manage the text messages, the SMS messages, and the database that sits behind it, I guess, which holds all the phone numbers. So what is the equivalent of, say, Aweber for the SMS marketing world?
Okay, good question. Thanks, Daryl. We've actually developed our own platform. So we've developed a platform from the ground up, which stores all those numbers and also allows us to manage these campaigns, to create keywords. The number 64414 is actually our own dedicated shortcode. So we rent that shortcode directly from the networks, and our system plugs directly into the mobile network. So we've developed it from the ground up.
Brilliant. Okay, Daryl, I hope that answers your question, and I know for a fact that Stuart is open to having a conversation with you about that system and about using it in your business if that's what you were asking about. So do get in touch with him and actually go through the process of sending this text message to this number So you can see exactly how it works. I tried it out earlier today before the webinar, and within a few moments I received the reply from the system. I guess because we are marketers, we know what's going on. I can appreciate the mechanics behind what's happening. But to I guess an untrained person or a customer, they may not understand what's going on, and it looks really impressive. It feels very personalized to someone who doesn't know about this. Well, we all know about email marketing and how that all works with autoresponders. I guess this is an analogy to use. This is the equivalent of Aweber, but with very different and very cool features that Stuart's built into it. Another question, Stuart, has been asked is there a possibility, now I've actually seen this before as well, is there a possibility to earn revenue from the text messages that are received? So I know you said that for the customer sending the message, it costs them a standard network rate or a free message from their allowance. But I mean, I guess that's how, shows like The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent make money, where people send in their votes via text message, like A, B, or C or whatever, and they charge £1 per message, and they make £1 million per ad break or whatever. Is that a possibility with this system, or is that not something that we should be looking at? Is that not quite?
It is a possibility. I mean, what you'd need there for things like that is a premium shortcode.
Okay.
So 64444 isn't a premium shortcode.
Okay.
But you'd need to have a number like that was a premium designated number.
Okay.
You can do it. What I would say, though, is two things. One is it's fraught with issues if you do it. And secondly is there's other ways around it that people are generally more comfortable with. So let me explain what I mean by that. In terms of the issues that can be fraught around this, is that because of the bad association there is with people operating premium numbers, where people have perhaps texted in thinking it was free, and then found out later that they were going to bill £6 on their mobile phone bill the following month. Because of the kind of issues around that the industry has faced, the operator actually holds back that money for a period of time, and it's several months, which can have quite a significant impact on your cash flow whilst that money's being retained. And therefore, business model is not necessarily the best way of necessarily collecting the money. It's quite efficient at an individual level. Obviously, if someone checks in and the operator collects it, then the money's coming in automatically. But also, the operator takes a cut of that as well, which is significantly more than if you were, for instance, taking a payment through, say, PayPal or something like that. So the way that I would work it is, if you were doing, for instance, I'll give an example strategy that I'm talking with a client about right now, is that if you want to do something like that, let's give an example where you send out like a motivational message. So if you were somebody that had a following of people and you want to send out like a daily motivational message, what you're better off doing is actually fronting that entire service through a website, and then manage all your payment collections through that website. And then all you then need to do is manage the interface between people joining that service and people leaving that service through that website with your messaging platform.
Right.
And that way, people are very used to then how they pay. People are very comfortable with paying with PayPal. People are very comfortable with paying via that method, whether it be on a PC or on a mobile phone. So it makes more sense to have people pay you that way too, because then they're comfortable with it, and there's not going to be a barrier to them wanting to buy the service.
Got it.
And then you just use the platform to deliver the service.
Got it. Fantastic.
That's the way I see it working, and you could be running a membership site that does exactly that, and the text messages that people are paying for are just a part and parcel of that membership site.
Got it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Stuart Murray is the mobile marketing expert, because all of that was new to me. I had no idea that an operator would withhold the fees, but it makes perfect sense now. And like I said, that's why you are the expert. There were a few more questions, but there were a few more questions, Stuart, but they've been answered through your other answers and through the end of the presentation, so I won't repeat those. This whole thing's being recorded anyway, so if anyone does want to replay it at any time, and fast forward past the audio interruption we had earlier on, they can do so. In fact, this would have been perfect, Stuart. Just a few weeks ago, I was speaking at a conference in Dubai where the speakers had to, at the end, our pitch, if you will, was to vote for your favorite speaker, and it was text the speaker's name to whatever number it was, and it was almost like a primitive setup where there was a lady sitting outside with a mobile phone and collecting and manually counting all the votes. So this would have been absolutely perfect for that. And
Seriously?
yeah, absolutely. And if I had organised that, then of course I would have gone with something a bit more professional like this. It would have looked a lot better. But it's something I'll definitely make sure that they use in the future, especially in that part of the world where at conferences and seminars you can't pitch from stage, as we all know, and maybe not love so much in the UK and the US and Australia as well. But this would be perfect for that market, and I'll definitely put you in touch with the right people in Dubai and Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. All that's left for me to say is thanks very much, Stuart, for your time. You've really given us a lot of value here. The comments coming in are brilliant, very positive. You're a great speaker, and the value you're providing is very high as well. So thanks very much to you, Stuart, for putting your time in this. For everyone listening to this call, thank you for your time. It's just almost just gone 10 to 9 here in the UK in the evening. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you taking out a few hours of your evening tonight. As always, the recording of this will be ready in a day or so, and will be put inside the premium section of the Rapid Leverage Forum for all our premium members. And if you want to join and get access to all the other webinars in there as well, and future webinars, it's only a one-off lifetime membership. There's no monthly fee or anything like that, and we put in our products. So as part of the premium membership, our premium members on the call will know you'll get all the other products that I create in there for free. The Networking Ace Masterclass in there featuring some experts from around the world, the Outsource Rookie course for learning how to outsource things if you're new to outsourcing, and all my future courses and webinars and what have you get thrown into the premium section as well. So if anyone does want to join, rapidleverage.net, that's the place to go. That's all I'm going to say about that. For those listening live on the call, I want to wish everyone a very happy Christmas and a brilliant New Year coming up. I hope 2013 brings everything that you hope for your business, and I hope this year has been great for you as well. I look forward to helping our members grow their business throughout 2013 here in the UK and abroad, of course. And if anyone's got any questions, the normal place to find me. My door's always open, as they say. In this case, my email is always open and accessible to everyone. So if no one's got any more questions, I'm going to call it a night for today. And I want to say thanks to Stuart again. Thanks to everyone for sticking around. We've had a 100% retention rate, which is just brilliant. I've never seen that before. So everyone who started the call is still on the call, which is brilliant. Thank you all very much, and have a fantastic night wherever you may be watching this from live or on the recording. Thanks very much.